Welcome. Today we are going to explore some of the most valuable Kennedy half-dollar coins in the United States coin market. These include rare errors, special silver issues, unique toning varieties, and coins in exceptional condition. The ones that have become major players in the coin collecting and investor world. These rare treasures are not just pieces of history. They are some of the most valuable coins collectors are hunting today. So, if you are a coin enthusiast or someone who appreciates the beauty and significance of American currency, this video is for you. Let's get started. First coin backhand index pointing down. The 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar. The D-mint silver legend that holds the power to change fortunes. There are coins that tell history, and then there are coins that are history. Among America's most powerful symbols of legacy and hope stands the 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar, marked with the proud D of the Denver Mint. Born during the bicentennial celebration of the United States, this coin is more than just metal. It is a monument to freedom, a tribute to leadership, and a silent vessel of unimaginable value. It glows with the spirit of 2 centuries, carrying in its silver heart the story of a nation's struggle, triumph, and destiny. Some say this coin has the power to change a life overnight, and in the modern collector's world, that belief is not far from truth. The Kennedy half-dollar was already legendary long before the bicentennial design appeared. First minted in 1964, just months after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy, it became a symbol of mourning, pride, and renewal. Americans hoarded the 1964 silver halves out of respect and emotion, and the coin became an enduring memorial. But in 1976, the U.S. Mint sought to create something even greater. Something to honor the 200th anniversary of the nation's birth. Thus was born the bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar, bearing the dual date 1776 to 1976, a tribute to both the nation's founding and its enduring unity. The design of this coin was revolutionary for its time. The obverse kept the noble portrait of President Kennedy, his profile sharp, serene, and confident, while the reverse was transformed into a symbol of American pride. The Independence Hall in Philadelphia, where the Declaration of Independence had been signed 2 centuries earlier. The words 200 years of freedom seemed to echo in the coin's silver gleam. To hold it was to hold the heartbeat of America itself. But not every coin struck that year was ordinary. In the vaults of the Denver Mint, something extraordinary occurred. Amid the billions of clad coins made for circulation, a small number of 40% silver bicentennial Kennedy halves were struck, intended for special collector sets. These coins were not just shinier. They carried the weight of history, purity, and rarity. Yet through error, fate, or the unexplainable hand of destiny, some of these silver halves escaped into circulation, mingling with the everyday coins of commerce. Those silver 1776, 1976, D. Kennedy halves became the stuff of legend. To the casual eye, they looked identical to the common copper-nickel version. But to the trained collector, they possessed a different light, a softer, brighter silver luster that seemed alive. When dropped on a hard surface, they didn't clink. They rang like crystal. The difference was almost spiritual. And for those lucky enough to find one, the discovery was nothing short of breathtaking. The Denver Mint, situated at the foot of the Rocky Mountains, had long been a forge of American resilience. Its D-Mint mark stood for strength, precision, and pride. In 1976, as the nation celebrated its bicentennial with fireworks, parades, and patriotic songs, the Denver Mint gave the world something more lasting than a spectacle. A coin that embodied 200 years of American courage. It was not merely a half-dollar. It was a silver monument in miniature. Over time, the silver bicentennial halves became treasured artifacts. Collectors began to realize that these coins, especially those struck in Denver, had a magic about them. The silver composition was rare, and the dual date made them timeless. Some were polished to perfection and sealed in mint sets, while others vanished into circulation, unknowingly passed from hand to hand as the quietest of treasures. Each one carries the story of America itself, from independence to innovation, from revolution to rebirth. The 1776, 1976 D silver half-dollar is also a coin of deep emotional resonance. It honors John F. Kennedy, one of the most beloved presidents in American history. a man whose vision of hope and progress inspired a generation. To own a bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar is to own a piece of that dream, a metallic echo of the promise Kennedy once gave, that the United States could reach for the stars and reshape the world. The coin captures that optimism, that elegance, that enduring faith in the American spirit. In today's market, a flawless silver 1976 D. Kennedy half-dollar can command astonishing prices. Collectors compete fiercely for examples with mirror-like proof surfaces or deep cameo contrasts, where Kennedy's portrait shines like glass against a field of shadow. The rarest varieties, those with special die errors, doubled features, or flawless strikes, have fetched thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. Yet some believe that among them exists a near-mythical version, a coin of unmatched purity or minting anomaly that could be worth millions, if ever found. Stories circulate in the numismatic world of people who stumbled upon such coins by chance. A coin jar, an inherited collection, a forgotten roll of halves, each might conceal one of these silver legends. The thrill of discovery keeps collectors searching, year after year, for that one coin that gleams differently under the light, whispering of destiny and untold fortune. Beyond material worth, the 1976 D. Kennedy half-dollar is an artifact of unity. It bridges generations, linking the founding fathers of 1776 with the dreamers of the modern age. Its design is a mirror reflecting both past and promise, the dignity of Kennedy's face beside the hall where liberty was born. It is a coin that carries meaning, not just value, a silver heartbeat echoing across centuries. And perhaps that's why people say this coin has the power to change fortunes overnight. Not because of superstition, but because it embodies something rare in our time. Hope cast in silver, history preserved in brilliance, destiny hidden in plain sight. Those who hold it often speak of feeling connected to the nation's past, to its ideals, and to the silent promise that opportunity still gleams in the most unexpected places. Even after nearly 50 years, the aura of the bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar remains undimmed. It stands as a reminder that true worth often hides in the smallest details. A mint mark, a shimmer of silver, a date that spans 2 centuries. It is a coin that asks you to look closer, to see beyond the surface, to recognize the extraordinary within the ordinary. So, if one day you find a 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar bearing the D mint mark, don't rush to spend it. Hold it to the light. Feel its weight. Listen to its ring. You may very well be holding not just a coin, but a story of freedom, faith, and fortune. A masterpiece of American history forged in silver and sealed by destiny. Because sometimes a coin isn't just change, it's a chance. And within the silver glow of the 1976 D. Kennedy half-dollar, the heartbeat of America still shines, waiting for the one who dares to see its hidden power. Next up, the 1992 P. Kennedy half-dollar, the hidden silver jewel that holds the power to change fortunes. In the grand history of American coinage, few pieces hold as much quiet mystery and potential as the 1992 P. Kennedy half-dollar. To the untrained eye, it looks like an ordinary 50-cent coin, just another piece of metal among millions. But to those who understand its story, this coin is far more than change. It is a key to hidden wealth, a piece of American heritage, and a silent witness to a transition in time. Within its luster lies a secret that could turn an ordinary collector into a legend. The Kennedy half-dollar was born from tragedy and hope. First struck in 1964, just months after President John F. Kennedy's assassination, the coin became an emblem of national mourning and renewal. Americans clutched it not as currency, but as memory, an eternal reminder of a young leader whose light was extinguished too soon. Over the decades, the Kennedy half-dollar evolved, but its heart never changed. Every new issue carried the same proud profile of the late president, as if his spirit continued to guide the nation's conscience through time. By 1992, the Kennedy half-dollar had already passed through eras of transformation. The early 1960s issues were struck in solid silver. Later versions transitioned to a copper-nickel-clad composition. But 1992 marked a quiet rebirth, a return of silver, though not for the masses. The U.S. Mint, in its desire to honor collectors in history, revived the 90% silver Kennedy half-dollar as part of the Silver Proof Set program. These 1992 P silver halves were struck not for circulation, but for legacy. For those who valued art, purity, and history over mere currency. Minted in Philadelphia, the 1992 P. Kennedy half-dollar stood as a symbol of excellence. The P mint mark beneath Kennedy's neck represented not just a city, but a tradition of craftsmanship that had shaped the nation's identity since the 18th century. Every detail of Kennedy's face was sculpted with precision, the hair flowing like living metal, the gaze firm and resolute. When light touched its surface, it danced across the fields like liquid moonlight, revealing the unmistakable glow of silver purity. Though the mint intended these coins to remain in collectors' sets, destiny had other plans. Over the years, stories emerged of 1992 P. Kennedy have surfacing mysteriously in circulation. Coins that had somehow escaped their protective cases, entering the world of commerce. For the person lucky enough to find one, it was like discovering a silver ghost among ordinary coins. A coin that was never meant to be spent, never meant to be ordinary. Yet there it was, gleaming faintly in the palm of fate. What makes the 1992 P. Kennedy half-dollar so special is not just its silver, but its symbolism. It represents America's rebirth in the 1990s, a time when the nation was redefining its identity, balancing tradition with progress. This coin was a bridge between eras, between the past's reverence and the future's promise. Its very existence reminds collectors that even in the modern age, there remains room for purity, for artistry, for something extraordinary. And yet, among these already rare silver halves, there exist even rarer variations. Coins with proof-like perfection, mirror-deep fields, and striking contrast between Kennedy's polished profile and the frosted background. Some examples bear microscopic die varieties, minute imperfections that make them utterly unique. These specimens, graded at the highest levels by experts, can command astonishing prices. To possess one is to hold a masterpiece of minting, something that no machine can truly replicate, no time can erase. In numismatic circles, whispers persist of a mysterious batch of 1992 P have struck with unexpected luster or exceptional silver quality. Coins so rare that they seem almost mythical. Some believe these were test strikes or transitional experiments, produced in small numbers and never officially recorded. If one of these were to surface in pristine condition, its value could climb into unimaginable heights, rivaling even the rarest American coins. But the worth of the 1992 P. Kennedy half-dollar is not only measured in money. Its value lies in what it represents, the resilience of a nation and the endurance of a legacy. It carries within it the spirit of John F. Kennedy's vision: courage, unity, and forward motion. When you hold it, you are not just holding a coin. You are holding an idea, a dream frozen in silver, a reflection of America's better self. In today's market, collectors chase these coins with near-obsessive passion. A flawless example can fetch hundreds or even thousands, depending on grade and provenance. But the true thrill is not in the auction. It's in the hunt. Because somewhere, in a roll of forgotten half-dollars or a dusty attic jar, one of these silver marvels might still be waiting to be found. The dream of discovery keeps the legend alive. The Philadelphia Mint's craftsmanship shines through every detail. Each 1992 P half is a testament to the artistry of American minting, an art that balances mechanical precision with human soul. Its design endures unchanged because it needs no improvement. It is perfection captured once and repeated forever. And when silver enters the equation, it transcends mere metal. It becomes heritage. Collectors often speak of a feeling when they first hold a 1992 P silver half. The weight, the coolness, the undeniable sense of authenticity. It's as if the coin whispers of the past, of the 1960s idealism reborn in the 1990s optimism. That whisper is what separates a mere object from a treasure. And perhaps that's why some say this coin can change your fortune overnight. Not because it magically makes one wealthy, but because it reminds us that true fortune lies in recognition. Seeing value where others see none, spotting brilliance in the unnoticed. The person who discovers a 1992 P silver Kennedy half-dollar in their possession has already proven they have the eye of destiny. So, if you ever find a 1992 P Kennedy half-dollar, don't rush to spend it. Hold it close. Look at it under the light and see how it mirrors the glow of 2 centuries of American perseverance. In that coin rests not just silver, but a story of honor, hope, and hidden greatness. And within that story lies a fortune that no price can ever truly measure. Because sometimes, the smallest piece of silver can carry the weight of a nation's heart. And in the case of the 1992 P. Kennedy half dollar, that heart still beats, brilliant and eternal. Next up, the 1995 D. Kennedy half dollar. The hidden silver flame that can turn time into treasure. There are coins that tell a story, and then there are coins that become the story. The 1995 D. Kennedy half dollar is one such legend, a coin born in the heart of the Denver Mint, shaped by decades of American pride, and destined to gleam brighter than ever in the eyes of collectors today. It might seem like a simple 50-cent piece to the casual observer, but for those who understand its magic, it is a symbol of history, mystery, and unimaginable fortune. The Kennedy half dollar began in 1964, forged from the sorrow and respect that followed the tragic death of President John F. Kennedy. Americans were mourning not just a leader but a dream, and the creation of this coin was a nation's promise to never forget. With its noble profile captured in smooth silver, the coin carried Kennedy's spirit, his courage, his charm, and his belief in progress. Through every decade since, that image remained untouched, almost sacred, as if each new coin struck in his name added another verse to the song of his legacy. By the time 1995 arrived, America was in a new age, an era of technology, change, and renewed optimism. Yet even amid that modern transformation, the Kennedy half dollar stood as a timeless reminder of the ideals that shaped the nation. The Denver Mint, marked by the proud D under Kennedy's neck, continued the tradition of minting these coins with care and precision. But 1995 was not an ordinary year. It was a year of transition in minting technology and collector enthusiasm. Some of the coins produced bore striking differences. Variations so subtle yet powerful that they transformed ordinary halves into priceless treasures. Among the millions minted, a few 1995 D. Kennedy halves emerged with exceptional brilliance. Coins with deep mirrored fields, sharp details, and almost proof-like perfection. These were not deliberate proofs, yet they shimmered as though kissed by light itself. Numismatists call them accidental masterpieces, coins that somehow escaped with qualities far beyond their peers. To hold one is to hold something beyond luck. It feels like holding lightning in your palm. But the mystery of the 1995 D. Kennedy half dollar doesn't stop at beauty. Some believe that during the Denver Mint's 1995 production run, a small number were struck using silver planchets intended for proof sets. Whether by mistake or by quiet experiment, these coins bear an unusually rich silver tone, a whisper of the precious metal that once defined America's currency. If true, these rare silver strikes would be worth not just thousands, but millions in today's collector's market. They are the kind of finds that rewrite numismatic history and change lives overnight. The Denver Mint, long known for its precision, became the silent cradle of this potential miracle. Each 1995 D half was born in a facility surrounded by mountains, where the air itself carried echoes of the Old West. And perhaps it is no coincidence that this coin, with its unexpected magic, came from that land of dreams and discovery. Every D mint mark tells you that your coin was struck where American craftsmanship meets rugged determination, a spirit carved in both coin and country. In the 1990s, Kennedy halves no longer circulated widely. People rarely saw them in everyday change. This made them even more special, a quiet survivor of a fading era. For collectors, finding a pristine 1995 D was like discovering a silver ghost from the past. And as time passed, their rarity grew, especially in high grades. Today, a perfect or near-perfect specimen commands enormous value, and certain varieties have reached astonishing prices in auctions. Beyond its rarity, the symbolism of the 1995 D. Kennedy half dollar gives it an almost mystical allure. It represents endurance, a coin that continued to be minted even when most Americans no longer used it. It symbolizes remembrance, a living monument to a president who believed in the future. And it represents the possibility that even in modern times, something of extraordinary worth can emerge from the ordinary. Collectors whisper about the billion-dollar coin, a phrase that captures the dream this piece embodies. They speak of people who discovered an old roll of halves in their grandparents' drawer, only to realize that one among them was a 1995 D of exceptional strike, worth a small fortune. Those stories may sound like legend, but every legend begins with truth. The fact is, a coin like this, in pristine condition or with rare characteristics, can change your life overnight. Its design remains one of the most iconic in American history. On the obverse, Kennedy's calm and determined face reflects the nation's ideals. On the reverse, the eagle spreads its wings, guarding the olive branch of peace and the arrows of strength. It's more than art, it's a declaration of what the United States stands for. And in the 1995 D, those elements seem even sharper, more alive, as though the coin itself knows it carries a legacy beyond measure. Holding one feels different. There's a weight, not just of metal but of meaning. The sound it makes when tapped, the gleam under soft light, the fine texture of the rim. Everything about it whispers of quality, history, and pride. For those who understand coins, the 1995 D is not a token but a treasure chest sealed within a circle of silvered copper. As the years pass, fewer of these coins remain untouched by time. Many were spent, some forgotten, others worn by circulation. But a few, the chosen few, survived in mint condition, their surfaces flawless and their edges sharp. These are the coins that today sit in vaults or collector showcases, their value climbing higher with each passing year. And yet, somewhere, perhaps in a jar of old change or a box of inherited keepsakes, another 1995 D Kennedy half-dollar may still be waiting to be discovered. And that is the magic of this coin, that at any moment you could stumble upon it, unaware of the fortune resting in your hands. It might look ordinary at first, but take a closer look, and you may realize it is the gateway to history, a link between generations, and perhaps a key to unimaginable wealth. So, if you ever find a 1995 D Kennedy half-dollar, especially one that gleams with unusual silver brilliance or proof-like perfection, do not spend it, do not trade it away lightly. Because that small circle of metal could be more than money. It could be destiny forged in copper and silver. It holds the power to remind you that even in the smallest things, greatness hides, waiting for the one who truly sees. And that is the secret of the 1995 D Kennedy half-dollar, a coin of quiet power, eternal beauty, and infinite possibility. A half-dollar that carries the full weight of American history and the dream that one discovery can change your fortune forever. Next up, the 1974 no-mint Mark Kennedy half-dollar, the forgotten treasure that holds America's silent silver secret. In the heart of American numismatic history, there lies a coin that whispers more than it shouts, the 1974 no-mint Mark Kennedy half-dollar. To the everyday spender, it may appear as nothing more than a common half-dollar, a shining relic of pocket change. But to the eyes of a true collector, this coin burns with mystery, memory, and an almost spiritual energy. It is a piece that defies expectation, a seemingly ordinary coin that could be the key to extraordinary fortune. The Kennedy half-dollar series began in 1964, not just as a coin but as a nation's monument in miniature. The United States Mint struck it in honor of President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination, an act of reverence from a grieving nation that needed something tangible to hold onto. People didn't just use the coin, they cherished it. It was the face of youth, courage, and hope frozen in metal. The 1974 issue carried that same torch, keeping Kennedy's legacy alive 10 years after his death, as America continued to evolve through changing times. The 1974 no-mint Mark Kennedy half-dollar was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest mint in the country and the very cradle of America's coinage tradition. Unlike Denver's D or San Francisco's S marks, the Philadelphia coins of that era bore no mint mark at all. This lack of marking made them both mysterious and pure, unbranded silver soldiers of history. Each one was born of the nation's central minting power, carrying the quiet pride of the original founders of U.S. coinage. Now, while most 1974 Kennedy half-dollars were made of copper-nickel-clad composition, whispers from collectors and mint insiders have long told tales of rare silver strikes, coins mistakenly struck on leftover 40% silver planchets from 1970 or earlier years. These are the kind of accidents that make legends in the coin world. They weren't meant to exist, but a handful did, escaping into circulation like ghosts from another time. And if you ever hold one of these rare silver 1974 halves, you're holding a mistake so valuable that its price could defy imagination. A true billionaire's coin. The 1970s were an era of economic change and uncertainty. Silver was fading from circulation, replaced by cheaper alloys. The world was modernizing, but with progress came loss, the fading of the precious metals that once defined American strength. And yet, the Kennedy half-dollar refused to lose its luster. Even when its silver content was reduced, it retained its dignity, its weight, its presence. The 1974 no-mint mark coin stands as a symbol of that resilience, a bridge between the Silver Age and the modern age. On its obverse, Kennedy's profile remains timeless. His calm expression, firm jawline, and forward gaze embody hope, leadership, and sacrifice. Beneath his neck, where other coins might bear a mint mark, there is nothing, just smooth space, as if the absence itself carries meaning. The reverse is a declaration of American power. The bald eagle with its shield, clutching the olive branch and arrows, surrounded by stars, the emblem of peace and strength united. This design has survived generations, and on the 1974 issue, it radiates an ageless beauty. For decades, collectors overlooked the 1974 no-mint mark Kennedy half-dollar. It was considered too new to be rare, too ordinary to be special. But time changes everything. Coins that once seemed plentiful vanish as years pass. Spent, melted, lost. Those that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition are now treasures. Some have been discovered with exceptional errors, doubled dies, misaligned strikes, or brilliant finishes, turning simple half-dollars into small fortunes. Among the most mysterious are the doubled die obverse, DDO varieties found in the 1974 series. These coins show a faint doubling in the words, "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," making them instantly distinguishable from regular issues. When such a coin appears without a mint mark, it captures the imagination. A Philadelphia-made marvel with an error that elevates it to mythic status. In pristine condition, a 1974 no-mint mark doubled die Kennedy half-dollar can fetch thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, depending on grade and rarity. But the true magic of the 1974 no-mint mark coin is not just in its composition or its errors. It's in its story. It represents a decade that redefined America. The afterglow of the space age, the echoes of the civil rights movement, and a society learning to rebuild trust and identity. In that context, the Kennedy half-dollar remained a symbol of unity, of looking forward, of believing in the promise of tomorrow. It was more than a coin. It was a message that even in difficult times, the dream continues. Philadelphia's craftsmanship in 1974 was superb. Each die was carefully polished, each strike sharp and detailed. Some examples gleam as if time never touched them. For collectors, these uncirculated pieces are like frozen moments, bits of history sealed in perfection. Finding one today in flawless condition is like opening a time capsule from the heart of 20th century America. And yet, there's always that lingering possibility, the rumor that somewhere, tucked away in a roll of half-dollars or forgotten change jar, lies a 1974 no-mint mark silver strike. It's the kind of story that makes coin collectors' hearts race. Imagine finding such a coin, weighing slightly heavier than normal, with a soft silver sheen that no nickel alloy can mimic. That single discovery could rewrite your destiny, the kind of overnight fortune that seems impossible until it happens. Even beyond money, the 1974 no-mint mark Kennedy half-dollar carries emotional wealth. It embodies a generation's longing for stability, its belief in heroes, and its respect for leadership. Every line of Kennedy's portrait seems to remind the holder that greatness leaves an imprint, not just in history books, but in the very metals that bear its memory. To own this coin is to own a piece of American heart and heritage. It connects you to a time when coins mattered, when people collected not for profit but for pride, when each half-dollar carried a story worth passing on. That's why the 1974 no-mint mark Kennedy half-dollar is not just valuable in silver or rarity, it's valuable in meaning. So, if you ever come across this coin, look closely. Feel its weight, its smoothness, its quiet dignity. It might be the same half-dollar countless hands once ignored, or it might be the one in a million that holds the glimmer of pure silver and the power to change your fortune forever. Either way, it carries a truth that transcends wealth, that the smallest treasures often hide the greatest legacies. The 1974 no-mint mark Kennedy half-dollar is not just metal. It is memory, mystery, and magic bound together in a circle of American pride. And for the one who recognizes its power, it just might be the coin that turns history into destiny, and destiny into gold.